This is Marienburg, one of the most infamously cruel plantations in the history of Suriname. This is the factory where they process the sugar here. This is the heart of the plantation. On this plantation, it was a site of just unspeakable suffering here. We'll take a look around the exterior. Here we see the train that would carry sugar and carry workers out to the fields and back. Again, off in the distance, you see that was the first director's house, the master, basically. It started as a coffee plantation in the 1700s, where slave labor was used. And countless people enslaved here. And then once slavery was abolished in Suriname in 1863, then after that, you had virtual slavery, indentured servants, contract labor brought in from India and Java, Indonesia. And that's what most of the documented material about this place is written about that period. Late 1800s, early 1900s, when it became a sugar plantation, and people were just treated like animals. Just brutal labor, working 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening under this sun. You can see I'm sweating out here just walking around. I can't even imagine being a laborer in the sugarcane fields out here, working all day long for, at the time our guide told us, about 50 cents a day was what you would get. And of course you had to buy from the company store. They probably charged you rent to live on company property, so really no chances to save any money too. We're going to go inside here. Well, this building right here, this is the old factory. This is where they distilled rum and where they processed sugar. Now, our guide told us that it's too dangerous to actually go inside because it's sort of falling apart. I'll show you some of the levels in here. They're about to fall down any day now. So our guide said it's not safe to go inside. So we thought the safest thing to do would be to wait till our guide is gone and then go inside. Here we are. So this was the distillery, the rum distillery. The old factory. Now this place, people say it's haunted. The most tragic and infamous moment in the history of Marienburg, it happened in the early 1900s, I believe the 1920s, when the telegram came in to the director saying that the global price of sugar had fallen. He got 2 telegrams back to back telling him the price dropped, then it dropped again. So he announced to the workers that he was actually going to lower their wages. And the workers started to protest. They said, we barely make any money as it is. How can you lower our wages? They started protesting, and the director, he rode out on his horse out into the field and tried to kind of crack down on them. He told them, listen, you're going to get this done because I say so. I'm the boss here. I'll pay you whatever I damn well please. And he was really trying to assert his authority. The workers were just so fed up, hungry, exhausted, starving. And so what they did is they killed him. They attacked the boss, they dragged him off of his horse, and they just chopped him to pieces with machetes. That was their breaking point. They just couldn't take it anymore. So after that, there was a local district police office nearby. So the police sent in, maybe army, maybe police, heavily armed troops came out here and just fired on the workers. Indiscriminately, they rounded up about 100 workers and just opened fire. 17 of the workers died, about 40 more injured at least. I don't think we know for sure, because after that they took the bodies. The families didn't have a chance to bury the bodies or mourn them. They collected all the bodies of those workers who were shot, and they dumped them into a mass grave. And nobody knows where that mass grave is to this day. There have been attempts to search for it, and nobody knows where those people are buried. what their names were. They were just dumped into a mass grave and chemicals poured on them to dissolve the bodies. And the owners of Marienburg forgot about them. But history didn't forget about them. And the families didn't forget about them either. After that, a new director came out here to Marienburg. And the new director almost immediately had an unfortunate accident. He fell under the wheels of the train. The train crushed him. Then a third director came out here. The third director died in an accident, I think right here, right in this very factory. Right here in the plant. He had an accident. And that is when people started to say that this place is cursed. They say that the souls of those workers have cursed the place. They've cursed anyone who will work here as a director, and those souls, they're crying out for justice. So anyone who comes out here and takes over this place, they're cursed and they're destined to die. It's a haunted place. It's haunted by the memories of the past, the memories of this unspeakable cruelty that humans can visit upon each other. And that memory still lingers around here. A lot has been written about it since then. I bought a copy of a book, somebody who grew up here in the 1950s. It's called Fremde Dinge uit Marienburg, Frightening Things from Marienburg. It's all in Dutch, so I'm trying to learn Dutch so I can read the ghost stories. But I know they're ghost stories from the titles. And a lot of people around here have ghost stories of strange things happening here. The author Cynthia MacLeod, she's a famous Surinamese author. She's written a lot of historical novels. She has a novel called, I believe it's Hoe duur was de suiker? Like how expensive, how costly was the sugar? Like looking at that hidden human cost for a product like sugar. And she has a novel all about Marienburg. It's a novel about the workers from the point of view of those laborers, contract laborers from India who came out here. The main character is a girl who's the biological daughter of the director, but her mother's a Hindustani woman. And it really goes into detail of just the living hell that people went through that worked out here. So we're going to stop to say a little prayer here before I leave this place. But yeah, as you can see, it's been abandoned for a long time. Those directors died, and eventually it shut down. In 1988, our guide told us. The place shut down. Our guide, he used to work here himself up to the 1980s, but by then things were changing. Suriname was no longer a Dutch colony. It had become independent. So he didn't experience the worst days of Marienburg. And now the jungle is taking it back. As you can see right here. Here in this place with such a dark past, the sugar plantation of Marienburg. What the fuck was that? Okay, I'm getting out of here. Something really heavy is moving in the brush. Marienburg, everyone.